Hello there, people of the internet. It's no secret that a lot of your ammunition out there on the market, made by factory commercial companies, is typically watered down in comparison to what the cartridge is either supposed to be or what the potential it has is supposed to be. And 44 Magnum is on that list. And whenever I bring up just how watered down the factory loaded 44 Magnum is out there on the market, a lot of people, they they kind of fall apart whenever I talk about it. Now, not all 44 mag out there on the market is watered down. There's some really impressive stuff out there, like Buffalo Bore comes to mind, Underwood comes to mind, probably a couple of other different brands, which have some very impressive 44 Magnum loadings. But by a huge margin, what you're going to find out there on the market is significantly weaker than what it's supposed to be. And that's common not just with 44 Magnum. That's common with pretty much every cartridge that is out there. They're not loaded to the specs that the cartridge has the potential to be able to run. So I actually made a video talking about the 44 Magnum that is out there on the market, and I went through a bunch of different brands on who is making watered down ammunition. And by a huge margin, most of the brands that came out, I'll try to remember to link that video probably in the description. If I forget about that, I got a lot of videos that I'm making, a lot of videos that I put out. If I forget about that, somebody remind me in the comments and I'll go ahead and I'll drop a link to that video going over these brands of 44 Magnum that are underpowered. But from a revolver or a handgun length barrel, the 44 Magnum that is out there on the market for most of the companies is going to send a 240 grain bullet at approximately 1,200 feet per second. There's some lighter weight bullets that travel slightly faster, but you're going to see around that approximate level of power and energy. That being said, the 44 Magnum, it has a lot more potential. Like, I know that PPU, Magtech, Winchester, maybe not. This is all in that video that I have listed. But there's a couple of companies that make properly loaded 44 Magnum, and it sends that 240 grain bullet at approximately 1,500 feet per second through that revolver length barrel. And that is more of what 44 Magnum is supposed to be. That being said, by a huge margin, most of the brands that are out there on the market are the watered down versions of 44 Magnum, and that's mostly done for liability reasons. You got a less powerful ammunition stuck inside of a gun that in many cases with some of these cartridges might be quite old and quite worn out, but you got a watered down power ammunition. It means that you are less likely to blow up a firearm, especially if that firearm is rated for more powerful ammunition. Unfortunately, that means that you have less power with your cartridge. So we're going to go ahead and roll through a couple of common 44s that are out there on the market. This is a hand load done by me that is approximately what you're going to see. We're going to run some factory ammo as well, don't worry. But this is approximately what you're going to see with most of your 44 Magnum out there on the market. I got 200 grain projectiles, and these are moving at approximately 1,400 feet per second, give or take. They're probably going to move a little bit faster from a rifle length barrel like what I have here, but this is about what you're going to see for 44 mag. Okay, all right. I know I was kind of dissing it, but that was still a fair amount of power going down range. I got a steel target out there, and can't really see it through the weeds, but as I shoot it more and more, it's kind of clearing those weeds out of the way. Okay, I underestimated how powerful this was, because it's got a little bit of oomph behind it. All right, so that was my hand-loaded stuff, and I loaded it to the velocities that you would normally see with 44 Magnum out there on the market. Okay, we're gonna load up some Remington 44 Magnum, and we're just gonna see what it looks like. All right, this is Remington factory loaded 44 Magnum. It is that like green and white box that this ammo normally comes in. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, that feels a little less powerful than the stuff that I had hand loaded. But granted, I wouldn't want to get hit by it. It's still got a fair bit of crackle behind it. After we're done with this batch, we'll have a look at what 44 Magnum is supposed to look like whenever it's properly loaded. Had a case rupture on that one. Well, no case rupture. It just looks like the brass didn't properly seal. Huh, that's strange. Alright, up next, I got some CCI aluminum case stuff, and I half remember this stuff being on the list of potent 44 Magnum. So this should be approximately what 44 Magnum is supposed to be. Now, if you want to go and get like Buffalo Bore, Underwood, hand load your own stuff to get like really impressive velocities, then we could sit here and talk about what powders to use and not to use. I think the 2400 would probably be the best powder loading for 44 Magnum. H110 would probably serve really well as well. But this CCI, I got no idea what the bullet weights are, but I think that this is going to be a little bit more potent than the stuff we were seeing. Alright, that's better. It's louder. I don't know why, but the aluminum case stuff typically is louder. But some of the stuff that I have over here, can you reload aluminum cases? I'm going to try. I'm going to try reloading these. But some of the stuff that I have out here that we're going to be running through as well is going to be more potent than this. So maybe this is not as potent as it's supposed to be. But this is a good example of brand matters, because the Remington stuff definitely did not have that punch to it. Yeah, this feels about on par with the stuff that I had loaded. And man, they're smacking the hell out of that steel. I don't know what the hell that steel's caught on, but it hasn't fallen down in a minute. Hold on. I might have spoke too soon. The steel is starting to tip over. The steel is still standing. Heck yeah. So that stuff definitely felt more potent than the Remington stuff. It felt about on par with my hand loads. Let me see what else I got here. I got a few different brands here. This stuff is Winchester. It looks like Winchester Super X. No idea what the grain weight is on it. Probably 240, maybe 200. Not certain. But I got a couple of these rounds. Let's go ahead and load them up and just see how potent and spicy they are in comparison to some of the other stuff we've been seeing. Oh boy, that was that was better. That one had some oomph behind it. That was 44 Magnum. So the Winchesters, that's good, because that's mostly what I have in this bag here. That's probably what I'm taking deer hunting this season. The Winchester Super X gets the thumbs up from me. Oh boy, man, that is some spicy stuff. Oh. Yeah, that's what 44 Mag is supposed to be. I got one round that is stamped IWI, maybe IMI. I'm not sure what brand that is. I know I've seen that head stamp before. I've only got one round of this stuff. Let's see what happens. Ooh, that was worse than the Winchester. Okay. That stuff gets a big thumbs up from old Shawnee boy. Up next, we got, this looks like Federal FC, so Federal cartridge. I got two of these. Man, we are just walloping that poor steel down there with 44 Mag. Okay, not as powerful as the Winchester or the IWI or IMI, whatever that was. So yeah, the Federal, not near as powerful as the Winchester stuff was. Alright, I got one here that says BMA, and it's a hollow point. Let's see what this one feels like. No idea what company this is, but let's do the old yeet and skeet. Okay, that one didn't feel that great either. Definitely not as powerful as those Winchester Super X or the IWI ones. So this is the point that I'm trying to make here. Your brand of ammunition for your 44 mag absolutely matters. That's going to dictate what kind of power and velocity you get. And man, it's a huge difference. And there's a lot of brands out there where the 44 mag is just watered down for those brands, which really sucks. Apparently the Winchester stuff is good though, so I'm probably going to get more of that, honestly. I wonder how many rounds of that I actually have in this bag here. I'm not sure. Ooh, I got some shot shells. That'll be fun experimentation video. Okay, well, thanks for watching, folks. I appreciate your time. Like, subscribe, share. Description below is a link to all sorts of stuff. Go check it out. You guys go off. Have yourself a fantastic day. We'll see you on the next episode. Been a little while since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. Poor man's Garrett. It's a shame that bolt action shotguns aren't more mainstream.